What up? What up? It's your boy Woody, guys. Today has been a very exciting day today. There has been a lot of Elite Wars that's happened throughout the entire game. Camel's just released the whole new polar schedule for this upcoming week. I don't see us having too much of a hard time. In 567, we got 1110. I don't know much about 1110. I honestly don't. We do have 796, which is the old polar bear nation. 406, 114, 645. I don't know too many people that's in there, but it shouldn't be. I'm assuming it might not be that hard. So that should be good. But I will say we did have Elite War today. The video is up. We went up against 785. Awesome players there. I do want to get some of the feedback from the players in 785, how they felt. And go from there. I know Diesel, you're on, and Holbrook's on in here, and Cannon's on in here from 785. Um, so did you guys expect like what happened, like the whole speed thing? Did you expect it was gonna last longer, or you just like was just like fuck it, let's just get this over with? Diesel, Beef, Holbrook, talking to you.
I mean, I would be lying if I said it didn't go in a way that a large number of us were anticipating, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we came to play, but at the end of the day, I'm glad that you guys just fucking raped. Sorry for the language, but
No,
yeah,
it's fine.
you rocked us, saved me a bag. I'm okay with that.
Well, I mean, it also, I kind of feel that, like, yeah, like you just said, it saved the bag, and I think Holbrook was touching on a little bit earlier today. I don't mean to call Holbrook out like this, but I mean he is right when he says like it those kind of matchups. It kind of shows you um, where you are, like where you are on that, where the wall is, so on and so forth. So, kind of like how when we went up against 255, it showed us exactly where we stood. You know what I mean? They did what 255 did to us. What happened to you guys? So it shows what kind of work that you guys got to do. You know what I mean? And it's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
Well, and the other thing that does is it highlights and magnifies just the way that the tiered progression of power exists as you move up the rankings, right? Like from 50 to 20, it gets much harder. From 20 to the top 10, it gets much harder. Once you're looking at these top five, it's like, holy crap. You just take a giant step up in terms of power. And, it's sweaty. Like,
Yeah, it
you
definitely
got to
is
have all
sweaty.
the pieces
It is sweaty. It is sweaty. I'm not gonna lie.
because we had another Elite War today. Um, and it was, 895. Just absolutely rocked them under
Hell
five
yeah.
minutes.
Hell yeah, I'm happy to
But
hear that.
you
Dude,
know,
I am so happy to hear that. It's because they were my arch nemesis when I was playing 736. So I'm happy to hear that.
you're welcome. But yeah, I mean
Now,
they're still top 15 though, right? So the fact that we can walk through them in no time, then literally we get flattened by a wall that is coming towards us, and it's it was fun. I'll say that it was fun. A good way to start the day, getting completely wrecked.
I'll show it real quick. And there's a video out there, but this shit happened to us with 255, man. I'm not gonna lie, man. It sucked. Like, it's just like, what the fuck? I'll tell you what, I was happy to see the Vegas cities flying around. I was very happy to see that. Like, oh, Vegas is are playing. And they're both flying together like he usually does. But yeah, I was happy to see them flying around. And there was more. We went into depth because it was not so much live, but it was live streamed, um, in a Discord. So there was commentation from other places, and we were able to look and see and what happened. But all honestly, 75 did nothing really too much wrong at all. It was just like you said, OP, overpowered. I feel that our lines were extremely long, which we got to work on. The snakes. But yeah, that was it was fun. It was fun. No, you did exactly pretty much basically what happened here. You guys did to 895. So that's a good feeling. So technically, you guys really didn't lose any points, right?
Yeah, it was like a differential of like 100 and we were positive like 100 and some odd points, probably like 150 or so.
Ain't bad. They ain't bad at all. That's a good wash. But I mean, you still gain 150 points. 150 points to 150 points.
Yep.
It just shows like all these competitive nations out there. It shows the level of where you have to be if you're trying to push. And I believe 7-Eleven they went against 621 today, and 7-Eleven also went against what nation? 113. And I think it was the same kind of outcome. Matter of fact, it was the same outcome, like how what you guys had in 75, the same kind of outcome that happened in 7-Eleven. So like they lost their first one, they fucking stomped the second
Yeah, they did. I
one.
logged in for just long enough to see it. That was what, like a minute and 34 seconds or something?
Yeah, like they walked over them. It was awesome. I believe
That Elite War was shorter than a.
yeah.
Sorry, go
I
ahead.
I believe Lady Fox will be probably making a video on that. I believe it was recorded for her, so and sent to her. So I believe there'll be a video on that one. I'm not so sure about the 621 video. Matter of fact, I don't know. That's between them. I think there might be one. I just think there might be a little bit of time between you see it. But yeah, that's definitely. So how many other people had other elite wars today that were, big for their nation? Did 910 have an elite war today?
Uh, Not really. We're having one today with 594 in
Oh,
14 hours.
you got one coming up.
Yep.
Ooh, that might actually be pretty sweaty for you guys, or somewhat fun, because I do believe 594. If I recall, I mean we don't have anything in our record, but I do remember that they show up pretty heavy and they like the speed. So I think you guys will have some fun there.
Yeah, I believe it's going to be exciting today.
Yeah, yeah.
Looking forward to that.
So when we say today, because the time difference, in
Mhm.
America it's going to be tomorrow, but for over
Yeah,
there because they're above, beyond, 12 hours in front of us, it's today or tomorrow's already today for them. I just wanted to clarify that because some people are probably like, "Well, it's already today and it's almost done." So yeah, that's wanted to make sure I would clarify that one for that. Um, do you have any concerns about them? Or?
um, uh, I'm not familiar with them. It's our first time playing them, but we're looking forward to the challenge.
Okay, okay, okay. So let's go take a look then, man. Second. Hold on. I didn't get to read what he put. Tip posted something, but then pulled out like a one night stand. 594 591 2 3 4. Oh, PHX, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, they're gonna bring it. I remember them. I mean, they're not as strong as they used to be, um, but they're definitely strong. So they're definitely gonna they'll be fun. They'll be fun. If that makes if
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat it at all, but if I remember them, and I do remember them, they did come pretty deep. So I think that would be pretty fun for you all.
Yeah, they were ranked 8 before we, like when we challenged them, they were in rank 8, but now they dropped to rank 12, which is interesting.
Probably what
Someone,
someone's farming them or something like that, right?
yeah, they lost, I think, a huge.
Haha. Haha, Tip. Can you erase it fast enough, could you? All right. Oh boy. If that's true, that'd be pretty amazing. Not gonna lie, but I don't know. I know you and your freaking AI shit, so I don't know. So it looks like for Polar, you guys got 255, 888, 425, 183, and 229. Oh man. Man. And
Wait,
888 is a lock nation. And I believe they went against 785 last week, and 888 was able to pull a W off that one. This will be interesting. You're gonna give it, you guys, is 910 gonna give it their all against 255 again?
yeah, we're going to play how we always do.
Hell yeah.
I think 888 are motivated and recently merged. They go hard.
Well, I feel depending where they situate you guys at, it's gonna determine if they place you guys and 425 in between, like on each side of 255, that's gonna be, it's gonna give 888 a very good it's gonna give them a benefit. They're gonna benefit off that, you know what I mean? Because that means that you guys are gonna be literally fighting 255 from both sides the entire time, while 888 is on the other side just fighting 183 and 229, which I don't even know if they're actually that strong at all. I know 425 is. I know 910 is.
Didn't we have 229 in the last run?
I think you guys
Yeah,
did.
we
And they
had them
didn't
both in the
try.
same.
Oh, so you
Yeah,
both, so they were both in the same bracket. So
yeah,
the only difference is 888 then.
yeah.
Yeah.
Camel is too lazy with the matchmaking, so they just repeated.
They just swapped 989 for 888.
Yeah. Wow. So this will be interesting. This will definitely be interesting. If anyone's going to be recording that, I would love to see that. You know what? I think Inacles will be freaking recording that. So maybe
We will.
I think that'd be pretty cool. My
This is gonna be
question,
an
my question is this, and only because of the comment last week, and I know that I know it was, the comment was misworded. Now that we got 255 and 910 here, and 425, and the comment, and I guess again the comment was, wrong wording, about punishment. Is this going to be 255 going after 425 and 910, or is, I don't know what's going to happen. So that's why I'm wondering, because it's the same, almost the same as it was last week. And if that's the case, is 888 going to sneak the win while you guys are doing that? That's going to be, and I know you guys don't want to talk about that much, and I apologize, but I'm just wondering how that's going to play out. Definitely interesting. And guys,
425 is gonna do what 425 does.
Right, but
Like,
remember the guys said
we're
that
not
you
gonna
was
sit down, but we're not gonna go at it hard either. So
well. Be honest. I'm gonna be real with y'all. At the end of that last match in Polar, at the very end, any of you guys, those top three, 4-2-5 could have took the win. 2-5-5 could have took the win, and 9-10 took the win. Any of you guys could have took it.
We just want to know if 255 is going to lay down or if they're going to go like they normally do and try and go for it all.
Why would you say lay down?
255 never lays down.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just it's a generic question because they've never been beat before. Now they've been beat. So the question is, are they going to continue to make it an event that they want to play and like and win? Or are they going to, kind of lay back and not push hard now? I didn't know. It's purely just a question. Because obviously you got 425 and 910 there again. So is it going to be a spend again frenzy, or is it going to be a just kind of second place is good type of event? We're all curious.
I think it's an applicable question for any of those nations.
Agreed. Agree 100%. Well, we've already asked 910. Now I'm curious what you guys are thinking. 425 said they are not going to push. So other than, your normal couple guys. 910 said they're going to play like they always do. That leaves you.
I think it will always be competitive.
Yeah.
Fair enough. What we wanted to hear.
But again, like I said,
My name's not Baby Oracle, though.
we understand. But again, we have
Too late. I got you on recording.
Shush.
That's okay.
We have 888. We have 888 in here in your bracket now, and they were last week's winner. So, and they just recently got mergers. So, if there is any bad blood between 255, 910, and 425, just know if they see that, they're going to use that, and they can possibly snag that win. Not saying it's
As far as I know, and as far as I'm concerned, there's no bad blood between 425 and any of the other two nations that we're talking about.
Why would there be bad blood?
No, because I'm thinking now I'm wording it wrong. When I say the competition, like
Didn't somebody say last podcast or whatever that somebody from 255 said they were going to punish 910?
they didn't
Somebody,
say.
so I don't know if that's true or not. I heard that.
So that was misworded. And
I don't know. That's just what I heard. I have no idea.
They didn't specifically say any nation. So, we need to.
If I can just say, 255 has a lot of respect for both 910 and 425. And I personally love safe. So Bayou, I think, was
so it was true that you
competitive.
guys said that. It just got out of character or what?
I think it's a bad, we would love revenge on anybody. We would love to win and show and actually, win. So I think that's just a heat of the moment, and we have nothing against either of those nations.
Of course. Well, it's always easy to be a good winner. It's hard to be a good loser, and sometimes
I also
when you
think
lose for the first time, it's tough.
Woody, we do love you, but we should have got everybody on stage because I think Bayou's probably feeling the pressure after that win.
I agree.
After that Polar, you're good. You asked the good questions.
I mean, I asked the questions because let's be real, guys. The more competitions that we have in the game, means there's more, like people that love the game. So with that being said, it's not like I'm trying to start anything because I'm not. But it's making the game fun. You know what I mean? It's versus we're just going against this nation and no one hears anything about it. Like these recent videos of the Elite War and the polars that's been coming out with these top contenders has been huge for everyone. Hey, Tip, mute your mic, bro. Mute your mic or mute your TV. It's been huge throughout the community. You know what I mean? People have been really, really, really loving to see it. So, with that being said, I think it's a good thing. And you got to remember, 1070 is coming up on the rankings. 1111 is great, but they're coming up on the rankings too. And everything. So, like, a lot of these nations, they're looking to see, and they're starting to do adjust their style to be ready, or at least try to compete up at the the top stage. You know what I mean? 925, 1035, 895. Those are all locked nations.
You know how to get to 888?
That is a good question. Anyone know how to get to 888?
By the way, just to be clear, I'm no LG, so I don't speak for 425. So when I say we're not gonna go hard, that's
Record that tip.
for
Record that.
most
I have it
event.
recorded. I have it recorded.
For 888, what do you got to go through 829?
829. Let's check them out.
Yeah, you can record it. It's not a problem. Like if the boss, which is LG in this case, says we're gonna go hard, well, then we're gonna go hard. Normally it doesn't. So
All right. So 888's got 1241s, 140, up to 2239s, and then their average they stop at 42 with 38s. So, I mean, if they show up, I mean, I can see them being a problem. Let's see what their officers look at. 20. I don't think they're going to be a problem. I don't think they're going to be a problem. I think that they actually might be putting time out for a little bit here and there, depending where they're put. They might be putting time out. I'm not gonna lie, they might be putting 22. That means that they're at like 2200 flat, but they only have 2 people there. Three people. I take that back. 3 people. What do their antiques look like? Because that's where a lot of the bonuses
Yeah,
are. 4
would
sixes.
you? We've played them in Polar, and many others played them. They come in deep.
So they can
They
potentially be a
have
problem.
they have the merger benefits, so they're active. They come in with numbers.
So they can potentially be a problem.
Yeah, you had to look at her.
Yeah, I'm looking at their antiques. So their antiques don't look too hot though. They're right where that wall is when we're talking about antiques being where it starts to be real expensive, and then they switch over. That's where most of the 3/4 actually they're at, because 416s, that's your top guy. You always imagine one person being way up there. Kind of like in 255, you got Baby Oracle. She's way up there. In this case, it's I can't even pronounce the name, but this guy, Tiger guy, whatever you want to call him, he's in the 400s. So other than that, it drops. Like, look at that. Right at an 11, it drops to double digits. It's not even. I don't know. I think that they can be an issue if they're not dealt with. But from what I understand and from what I've seen from my experience, there's been many times um, where people have literally just locked out the lock nations. So this would be interesting to see. Make it fast. We got some good old arguments going on over there in chat. Gotta love that kind of arguments.
Hey, mind your business, lady. Leave us alone. Do your thing.
So I have to clarify one thing now that we have a 1070 here. Last time I was on live, I said that 1070 had a back-to-back merger. And I have to clear that up. There was a nation that did get that, but it was not 1070. I think maybe Abigail, since she's in here, she can clear that up and tell us exactly what nation it got the merger, and the very next merger they got it again.
Oh, I don't know who got double mergers. I'm a jealous bitch, but I don't like keep track of other people's mergers. We got one,
It
but
was
I don't know.
it was 1170.
Was it 1170?
Yes, sir.
Oh, well, then that makes sense why it was confusing.
That might
Yeah,
be
everybody
it.
kept saying 1070 got double mergers, but yeah, no, we got one merger and it's been interesting.
1170 got double mergers. And still don't even know who they are. I still don't even know who they are. They only got one good guy there. Jeez. Well, I mean, maybe they really needed it. Damn, that would suck. Oh man, that would suck. I hate to say it like that, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Polar's coming up. We don't got a good thing. I think the only good battles that we can see that's happening in Polar, as far as I know, unless people speak up, is the one between 255 and that one. Everyone else has got an fairly easy Polar coming up.
Easy polar my ass. We have 621.
Wait a minute, you guys got 621?
Yeah, we got 621. The other ones don't seem terrifying. We have 799, 621, 564, 209, and 146.
If I'm being real with you, I don't think you have a problem with 621 this Polar.
Did you say
Because
799
they're
is not
prepping fairly well.
terrifying?
They are
That's-
terrifying, but like
Well, the reason I say that is because I believe
we got fucking molested by 567. Like I don't know. There's not much scarier than that.
Well, I mean, there are. I wasn't there, so I don't know how it felt.
Yeah, no, you ditched me, but it's okay.
But I mean, I know 799. They got Beast. They got Commander. I don't know so much about if Ducky's even playing anymore. I don't think he is. But like 621, I don't think 621 really going to try this Polar. I mean, they got bigger things on their plate right now in that's going on that I don't think they're gonna really even try, honestly.
I guess we'll find out.
Or maybe they will. I don't know. But I know they got bigger things to worry about than Polar right now. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
what
those
it
two
is.
Elite Wars. I can't wait to watch those.
Well, I guess everyone knows about them. So 621 is going to be going up against 255, and then 425. So I mean, right off the bat, those are two heavy Elite Wars. It's going to be super expensive. So that's why I'm saying I don't know if they're going to be really trying to go for Polar this time. If anything, I can
Okay,
see.
if we lose, I'm gonna say they were going really, really hard. And if they win, I'm still gonna say they were going really, really hard. So whether they were going hard or not, we're pretending they were.
If they show up with 90 something people, they're going hard. They're going for the win. But if they show up with only 40 people, they're probably not.
I guess we'll find out.
It's 425 and 621 that there's a date for that. Very exciting.
And we got Mad Max. Let's invite Mad Max to speak real quick because he's from 621. I'd rather him have him up here and be able to defend himself.
What's up, guys? Yeah, 425's the week after 255.
So, are you guys ready for 567 too?
I mean, as long as you don't do it the same day, probably.
I mean, we were kind of thinking that. No, I'm joking, dude. I'm so joking. We got other things in the works other than that. I'm joking about that. We're not doing that.
Yeah, 425 was at least gracious enough to give us a week to recover.
Well, I mean, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, you know, this is a good subject because I think everyone is waiting for that Elite War matchup, and I believe Ineco will be live streaming in a Discord, and he will also be recording it, so the video will come up. I'm very happy to see that you guys were like, "Fuck it, let's just do it." You know, get involved with the community like that because it makes both nations look really good to be involved in a community like that. So, but now that you guys both know your guys' well, 255 they speed. We all know that. So how are you going to counter that? Like, I don't expect you to give any of your planning away. I don't. But what you guys are going up against. So I don't understand. I don't. I'm wondering if you're going to be able to be able to do that. To
I'll
withhold that.
just say that, I mean, a number of us have watched some of the 255 videos, and we're trying to plan accordingly.
Oh man, that's gonna be rough. That's gonna be rough. So with that being said, are you guys even gonna say fuck it with Polar, or just say fuck Polar? We got bigger things to worry about.
I mean, I would say we'll probably show up in our normal force. We're definitely not going to be speeding all over the place.
Yeah, you don't want to drop that bag like that.
Now, and 799 has a habit of making it expensive too. Beast likes to go everywhere.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And Commander's there too, so I know Commander likes to speed around too. And then you got
And we all know
425.
Abigail's going to be everywhere as well. So,
Yeah, yeah.
it would be a very expensive match leading up to.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. I will be as many places as I can with my 3 default fleets.
Man, this is gonna be fun.
Well, I think the most fun is going to be Tuesday when 910 and 255 essentially get to go like head to head, basically. I think I don't know who else is really in this that's going to give them a any type of run for their money, but who's 888? I've never even fucking heard of them.
They're Lock Nation. So the highest
Are they
offshoots.
any good?
No, so they got, I think it was 1341s. They have their highest officers.
Oh, I'm late. So you guys already went through this shit, so I'm late.
Yeah, yeah. We can go back again. That's fine. We can go back. What
No,
nation?
you're cool. I'm just getting a gander at it now.
Well, I mean, it's fine. We're already. I think it was what 8. What nation had to go through the sea again? 8. Someone said it already.
It don't matter. They're trash, is what they are.
829, Woody.
829. Well, I mean, they can be an issue. You said 829.
Correct.
Well, check this out. If depending on the placement, right? So they got up to 1241s. One, so I mean, they can be a problem with those T13s. And if for say 255, 425, and 910, if you guys are battling each other, I mean, they got that whole other end that they can take territory.
I mean, we're pretty much just gonna hold our own little base area and a couple of little towers in front of us, I'm sure, but we're not gonna be doing much, man. So I'm gonna have my popcorn ready for a really cool battle of essentially with 255 versus 910. I'm assuming that's gonna take place here.
What's the over under on the amount of points Mental gets?
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna get some points and give everybody a little razz, but I'm also pretty sure he's gonna go in the 910 direction too if he's gonna be there. He knows we're playing 6-2-1 in a couple of weeks, so I know that we've already kind of talked to the alliance, and it's more like, all right, guys, like I was literally on voice chat with Mental earlier. It's like, all right, well, even if we have 255, like, bro, if you're flying around, people are gonna follow you. So like, let's not do that. Let's try not to do that. So
yeah,
more will be revealed, but yeah, I mean that 4 million or so points that he got last week was just fucking bonkers, man. I had to give him a attaboy for that for sure.
League, I'm gonna be real with you. So when we were watching that, at the end of it, 425 could have won that as well.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, we tried. It's not like we're nobody's bitch. Like let's get that
No,
real clear.
no, I'm not
But
saying
we
I'm
definitely
not.
tried.
I'm not
We tried to sneak that shit right there at the end. And it would have worked out if there was just a little bit more time. But excuse me, less time, I should say. But 255 was in there, really quickly. And so there's really, I mean, would it changed six times in the last 30 seconds or something crazy? So, yeah, I mean, we tried, man. We definitely gave it a nice fair shot, and, but we're not doing that this week, that's for sure.
Well, yeah, I know that was pretty hefty of a bag. Real
Like,
quick.
again, last week was for the people, like that's what that was for,
Yeah, you said it. You said it during the live that 425. Look, this is gonna be the only time we do this, so take advantage of it if you can.
LG, the people want more.
Yeah, I'm sure they do, man. But I'm not trying to get fucking monkey punched every time I look over my shoulder either. You know what I'm saying?
For the record, either way, you're getting them, just so you know, based off history.
Yeah, I know, man. I'd have to change my time or something. Who knows?
Real quick. I gotta. So in the YouTube chat, some guy posted that there's a C41 Korean player from 856 Sun that passed away 3 days ago due to a heart attack. I guess he really liked this game. So I figured I put that out there. That means one of our fellow teammates, even if we didn't know him, he passed away, guys. So whoever does see 856 in Void this upcoming week, show some respect. You know what I mean? And be like that. Don't go in there hanging your balls in front of someone that passed away. Show some respect. I mean, don't. I'm not saying not to fight them, but I'm saying show some respect.
Oof.
All right, back
Yeah,
to
crazy work.
it is crazy. It is
Is Saif,
crazy out
yeah,
there.
Saif's in here. Saif, are you guys going balls to the wall again on Tuesday? Try and get that ass or what?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
cool, man.
we're just looking forward to have fun and enjoy ourselves.
Yeah, always fun. It's always fun. That's it. I appreciate that. Yeah.
I'm super excited to hear about the 621's going against 255 next weekend, and then 425 right after that in the next weekend. The following
There's a
weekend.
week buffer in there. There's a buffer in there.
Well,
It's not like the next day.
that's what I meant. Like
Yeah.
I made a joke. It's like, well, 566 gonna, we're gonna challenge you the same day. But I was making a joke. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. At
No,
least
I was talking a little shit, like I was gonna hit him on Monday, but I was just talking shit. It's funny though because when I refreshed it, the only alliance that I did see to be able to challenge on Monday was 255.
So you're gonna try that one?
Hey, that would be if I were going to, I would attempt to slick them, the day after they play 621 and just pray that it goes 45 minutes long,
Yeah. I mean,
but no, I left that challenge alone, and 621 was the next challenge anyway. So we're saving a bag. We're chilling. We're gonna be preparing for that particular battle. We got Void with 333, so that should be fairly easy, and so we're gonna watch Polar. I'm sure a handful of us are gonna play, but I think a lot of us want to see the 910 versus 255 a little bit. I think the other guys, hopefully they're next to me so I can just fight them the entire time. Like that would be ideal for me. It's like put that Chinese nation and like the other guys next to me and I'll just fuck around with them the whole time.
For the record, we want to see what we saw last week.
For the record, you're more than welcome to change your time period and give them a run for their money, brother.
Sir, that's not what we saw last week.
You are more than welcome to change that time period and give them a stomping.
Again, that's not what we saw last week, sir. We want to repeat what we saw last week.
I think it's going to be fun either way.
Oh, for sure, man.
And
You know, for sure.
I'm assuming Inecho is going to record it as well, so we'll all probably be able to see it hour or two afterwards. What is this? What is this? What the hell?
Yeah, on the Sun topic, I wanted to speak on that because we have them in void,
Okay.
and yeah, we're not gonna hit them. We're gonna leave them alone, and we're actually all in the first like 10 minutes. We're gonna do like nobody hits anybody, and we're gonna do like a nice fireworks show for them, and just kind of pay respect to them. You know what I mean?
Maybe you all just port to their mud, their mud,
Yeah.
and then do a fireworks show for them. That'd be pretty
Yeah.
cool. I would
That's what we're gonna.
be sure to record that. And 856, they're in the YouTube chat and they're actually saying thank you guys. That was that's very good.
Yeah, that's what we're planning on doing, and then after that, then we'll get down to business and do what we do. But like it sucks, man, because like he was amazing. Like that account's great.
So
And
how do we? So obviously they're not going to be able to defend it. That's a problem. So are you guys just going to say fuck it, make that one city off limits because the person died? They can't even.
Correct. Yeah, we're not.
I mean, if you guys are, winning the war by a long shot, per se, just for convo's sake, I mean, it would probably be advantageous to that nation for you guys to just, take it out. It's that or
I would rather it
frenzy.
happen in frenzy though. It's void. So
well, maybe reach
Does
out
somebody
to
have access to his family or anything like that to potentially get the city? Is that like a possible?
We've reached out to them. We've talked to them a little bit, and I don't think anybody has access to it. That's the problem.
No one has his phone.
I don't think so.
That sucks, man.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about all that.
Well,
But
then yeah, if it's going to be, I mean, if they're already going to lose, in void, the best bet for that nation, so they don't have to deal with it in the future, is to just knock it out, take that loss, and at least.
I mean, if there's a potential, then yeah, try and wait till frenzy. If there's a potential to get the city back and it's as strong as the gentleman says, then absolutely try.
Yeah, I mean it is. It's the strongest. It's the strongest account in their nation. So
Now I'm curious to see who it is.
He's a beast, dude. It was Agate Gray's old account, I think.
That's hold on, 856. Let's check it out.
Oh.
Kind of embarrassed. Great reason for a bubble, buddy.
You're right. You're not wrong.
Yep.
Hate to say it, but just giving an example.
Yep.
So this guy, I'm assuming, is very top guy.
Yep.
82 mil. 24. Yeah, he was a spender. Damn, that sucks.
I know.
That sucks. Maybe this city might magically come disappearing soon. So if you guys want, if you don't want to have it zeroed out, what you can do, if you can find the obituary and have the actual proof that he passed away and contact your VIP, the VIP can disappear the city off the map. But just know, until you kick him out of your alliance, he's going to count against a merger type kind of thing. You won't be able to find him on the map, but he'll still be in the rankings. Kind of deal. But you can't just say guy died, but you got to actually have a legit obituary kind of deal. But just know, if someone does have access to it and it does disappear like that, it's never coming back. even if you have access to it. So I think the best bet would probably do what they were saying. Wait for a frenzy, and then just let them burn, so you ain't got to deal with that later on. I think that was best. Didn't the boss had an issue like that, and 785 had to deal with that with Vegas for a long time. Although Vegas didn't pass away, he just disappeared one day. They still had it. 785 had to deal with that. That's one of the hardest things to deal with, guys. Yeah, so yeah, they agree not to burn it. Yeah, wait for frenzy, or even wait for frenzy and have your own nation burn it. That would be a better. Wouldn't that be a better thing to do? Have your own nation burn it, during frenzy, of course. That way, the points aren't given away, and it's still business is taken care of. That's what I would do or suggest. But that's not me. That's up to them. That's up to them. So back to Elite Wars. So my question for you, Lee God, if you're still in here, being you have 621. The week after 255. Dude, when it comes to the rankings, if 621 loses against 255, is 255 going to become first place because of the point difference?
Yes.
So this is a very, very important one for that, both of them.
It's the most important one since 621 beat 219 for the first time.
Mm.
Not when they even took first place, but when they beat them the first time. Because for the longest time, 6219 just sat up there beating everybody.
Yeah. But no one was really challenging 219 until 621 said, "Bucket, let's try." At least from what I understood, I could be 100% wrong, but I don't think anyone was really challenging them. They were just doing their thing.
Yeah, I mean, this is the most anticipated. Like people say, even there's like an asterisk, for 621 being up there because they never fought 255. I think I've even heard you say it. And so it's something that the people want. It's something that I know both teams want. I was talking to Big Bird a couple weeks ago, and he's like, that's one of his regrets, prior to retiring, is not giving a go at 255. So those are all things that I think is, it's good. It's good for the game. It's good for the community. It's good for the teams. And, I'm excited to see it, talk about it, whatever, all the above.
If 255 wins, they take first place. Then in that case, they will literally be first place in almost every single event in the game. That they actually tried.
I mean, it would probably be every event. I don't know when they're not.
So, Mad Max, being that you guys are in here, you guys understand. You understand the circumstances of this, right?
Oh, I mean, we definitely do. And I'm trying to remember, we played Sin, I think 3 times. I think the first one went all 45. And I can't remember. I think we have like 800 points on 255 right now. I don't know that it was that much when we went the full 45. I can't remember.
Yeah, it's the swing. It'll probably be about a 500 to 600 point loss for you guys, and about a 400 to 500 point game for them. So it's
I
going to be
know,
about 1,000 point swing if you guys
yeah,
lose that.
I know it was that when we played Sin the second and third time, but I think it was less when it went the full 45. It
Oh,
wasn't quite
gotcha. Yeah, it's
1,000
definitely
points.
more
So,
points if you burn the base, for sure, for sure.
yeah. So I mean, it could this first match, whether they take first place or not, could depend on how long it lasts. So I would say it's not a guarantee, but yeah, we know what the stakes are.
Well, speaking of Big Bird, he just came up in here.
Oh, there he is. What's up? What's up, Bird?
What's up, guys?
So your one regret is not giving a challenge against 255.
Well, it's not his one regret. He just mentioned it. That's all.
One of the regrets. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I regret not being able to play that. You know, they were the goals. It would have been fun to play that match. I had the utmost confidence in our team at the time, and I think we could have taken anyone to 45 minutes. At that point, who knows? It comes down to towers. I was watching the Sin match the other day that went to 45 minutes, and they were ahead of us on towers in the last few minutes.
Wait a minute, in Elite War?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, okay. So you were watching like a replay of the first one. Okay, I thought you were talking about like you guys just went against Sin and it went to full 45 minutes. I was gonna say that's
that's not the case. No, it was last fall, last summer. I can't remember when we played them first.
okay. Well, I mean, technically, you could jump into a city and still play them, and never have that regret again.
I could, but the only way I keep myself safe is not downloading the game.
Oh, it's like crack, isn't it?
I know.
True.
But at least you'll be there for the commentation and at least watching it. So that'll be good. This is going to be super fun. And then a week later, 425's got them. Now, my question is this: we've all watched 219. They're just dropping, and I'm not trying to talk shit, but I mean they're just. I think they're going to start continuing to drop.
I mean, it all depends on how many nations want to quote farm them. I think there's definitely going to be a few nations that are just going to kind of, get some decent points, stretching up. There's going to be some top 20 nations maybe that'll give them a go. Like I'm sure 9-10 will give them a crack. Yeah, I mean, I feel like they're gonna, still be in the top 10. In my opinion, anyway. They're gonna be like the next 113. Just been there forever and doing their thing, and it's likely what's going to happen. I don't think you're going to see a fall like 52 or 269.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't think they're going to be like that, but but you're right. I can see that 785, 711, 910. 11. I mean,
and that's pre-merger, right? So get some more mergers flowing. That can get whipped up even more with the 1111s and the 732s and the all those other kind of nations out there that are kind of waiting for one a little bit. More will be revealed if that were to kind of come down the pike. But for right now, yeah, I mean, you got 910 and 799 that are kind of coming up the ranks right now. So they're going to come and kind of mix things up however they're going to mix things up. And then you got, kind of the top four kind of moving around a little bit, in my opinion, right now. So I think it's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be pretty cool.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to be a part of the game over the course of the next 6 weeks. Maybe even a little bit longer, depending on what happens, after these matchups, I mean, let's say 621 fucking wins, against 255. When's the rematch? God damn it! You know what I'm saying?
Depending on how deep those bags get. Depending on how deep bags
so
go.
Expensive it ends
I
up
don't want
being.
anyone to sit over here and just think that 255 is just going to win. You know what I'm saying? There's definitely those guys are number one for a reason. So it's very probable. Well, it's very possible that those guys can come out with a W, especially if it goes 45 minutes. Those max cities mean a lot the moment it gets longer than 5 minutes. So all those things start to come into play. But I think it would be awesome if 621 were to win, and then there's rematches and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, there's it's stuff to look forward to. It's like UFC. It's like UFC. We just watched the fights the other night. Boom, boom, boom. We got who? All right, who's fighting next? What's good?
Yeah, and you know what? That's exactly how Elite War has been going. Like it's been super concentrated to where like it's one of the main events.
Yeah, I mean, because again, it's something that we can control, and nobody can rebuttal it. Because let's use the 9-10-2-5-5 thing, on Tuesday. Let's say 9-10 whoops that ass, and they win, blah blah blah. Is that a method that they can, beat that alliance? I think it would be completely different and say like an Elite War. So those are all like little things that people can like take away from you. In other events like, Triangle War, DOD and Polar and Wasteland, you can buy things and you can
Yeah.
expand your entire alliance. You got the charge button, you got all these things. And, Elite War, you don't got none of that. You have preparation. You got a couple little tricks here and there with lore lines and stupid things like that and skin buffs and line skills. But, that's, everyone's got that shit, man.
Right.
So typically the nitty gritty is who's showing up and who's led properly, and so that's why it's fun in my opinion anyway. And then if you win or lose, no one can talk shit. It's just like, yeah, bro, like we showed up and we beat your ass. Like that's what happened.
I mean,
It's
people
not
can
like,
talk.
oh, you use gold items. You have more gold than you did this. You had the charge button. You had the zombie buff. I don't want to fucking hear all that shit, bro. I beat your ass.
When it comes down to it, that's what it is. Is when you get your ass kicked, you get your ass kicked. Like when 255, and I hate repeating this, but they kicked our ass in the Elite War. Like it was public. Everyone's seen it. It happened. Very fast too. So yeah, that's gonna be a main event right there. That's gonna be. I hate to say it like this, but like the Tyson kind of fight, or maybe not Tyson fight because that was a setup.
Well, the other nice thing about it is you get to schedule it. You get to schedule it, you get to set it up, you get to prepare for it. Whereas with Polar, for instance, it's we're kind of assuming how the matchups are going to roll. For the most part, anyway. And later into the season, we can kind of for the most part know who's fighting who. But in the early parts of the season, you got no fucking clue.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So with Elite War, you get to choose it. If there's a rival, you get to talk a little shit, and then you get to, that little thing I had with Ronaldo was nice. He wanted to run his mouth. Okay, yeah. Let's play Elite War, motherfucker. Let's do it.
Dude,
And
do it
that
the
was
right
my
way.
way of saying I don't give a shit how good you are in Polar with all your gold items and flying around a bazillion times. Like you can have that, but when we play this, you get your whole ass handed to you. So, I think that's the part that I think a majority of the players at a high level, kind of appreciate. I appreciate it, So I think a lot of other people think the same way too, and with the decline of all the other events, the one thing that continues to hold true, and hold water is Elite War, and so everything else is kind of everyone likes to talk a little shit about. Everyone likes to play it, not play it, and all those things. And Elite War is a good merit, especially if you can, slow walk and things like that. I mean, I showed you guys a few months ago, you can, your Mayday team rush the base, things over in 45 seconds. The whole team gets 500, 800 merit, that shit's great. And, they don't even kill a single troop, so it's all good stuff. I personally have always liked Elite War the most because of those style of things. Everyone can come together. You get to plan it. You get to prepare for it, and you know exactly what the hell's going on. And for the most part, you can know what to expect as well. Other than like the map layout, right? That's always kind of a toss up. The map layout, but there's only a few of them.
Right, but the map layout will actually determine what kind of attack that you're going to do too.
Yeah, and you got 5 minutes essentially once you get in there to figure it out.
yeah, because one map might completely destroy your plan, and you have to resort to a different plan because of the map. I do want to say something that I heard very interesting from you earlier today. You don't need to like touch on it if you don't want to, but there's certain nations up towards the top that you just want to leave alone, such as 286 Wild Baby Gang. Just leave them alone. Leave them alone.
I mean, you can do what you want. You know what I'm saying? I like to have a little bit of control. And yeah, 286 man, they're just a great team, and they know how to utilize the game to their advantage, and they'll hit. I mean, the last time they quick challenged us, man. Well, two times. The time that they beat us in a quick challenge, man. That we had 37 minutes notice. You know,
37
and
minutes.
yeah, we had 37 minutes notice, fuckers, and so like I respect that, and why they did that, who knows, man. Maybe it was enticed by 255 a little bit, maybe it's because I challenged them one too many times on a Sunday, but I challenged them because it gave my team, a good test, honestly, without losing, right? And I don't want to lose, but it gave my team a good test because they always showed up with like 80 plus, probably closer to 90, and it gave my team a really good test, and we would always win, so it was a good kind of consistent challenge, and I figured out the hard way that I should not do that, and I'll just leave it at that. But yeah, everybody's more than welcome to do what you like. I would suggest that everybody plays them at least once, and so you can whatever, know what it's like to fight a very organized and well-led team that's not named 255, right? And so everybody should play them on their way up, but don't do it more than once,
Yeah, don't.
because you're gonna wake up on a fucking Wednesday morning, have your coffee, and you're just gonna randomly get a notification that says you have Elite War in the next 30 minutes. Get your shit together, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's scary because I mean,
And they're infamous for it. It's not like they just did it to us. They're infamous more. Usually, it's more like a 2 hour notice, but in this particular instance, we had 37 minutes. The next time we had closer to 2 hours, and we were able to get the team together and kind of defend that because they tried 2 weeks in a row to quick challenge us. So
at that point, you're like, just leave him alone. Leave him the fuck alone.
yeah, I did not retaliate. I didn't. I left it alone. Just because I'm not trying to change my fucking true settings every week. I'm not trying to do all that, bro. You got to respect the game, and that's it.
I don't even know how. I don't need to share. I don't even know how to do that, but obviously they figured out how to do it. So yeah, we'll definitely be leaving alone.
Yeah, I mean, essentially, if you have if both teams, aren't getting challenged and they have an open schedule, you can get them, man, up to 30 minutes before.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, you
Imagine
can.
waking up. Imagine waking up and finding out in the middle of the night they challenged you 3 times and won all 3 times.
Well, they can, you can only do one challenge a week, right? So that wouldn't be possible. But they could do it every week, and yeah, I wouldn't want to piss them off. Let's just leave it at that. And they're an amazing nation at Void and things of that nature. Like they're the nation. If you let them get a lead in the first four, like it's very unlikely that you're going to win that Void. I don't care how good you think you are either.
Right.
So those guys are very well led, and everybody knows the deal. Everybody carries a shield. Everybody shows up when they're supposed to. So yeah, they're a good nation over there.
So basically, what you're saying is, guys, if you want to start moving up the ranking, you got
I mean, listen,
693, you got
if you're not from
895.
China, if you're not from China, and you have a good team that shows up with like 80 plus, 595, 693, 895. I think I'm missing one. 635. All those Chinese nations are just good points, man. and it's like 3 players you got to beat basically. So that would be my suggestion. Kind of gave it to Holbrook a handful of months ago. It's just like, listen, you don't piss off any of your homeboys because eventually you're gonna run into your buddies that are around you, and instead of challenging them and wasting each other's bag, just go fucking fight Ronaldo again, and I feel like that was the path of least resistance. Sure, I've had some run-ins with like Ronaldo, for instance, in like Polar War and shit like that, where he'll make it super difficult. But the long and short of it is I feel like all these guys can, get into a close enough rank and prepare to challenge some of these bigger nations that are going to give you a real run for your money. Just call it what it is. Once you get to a point where you think you can beat 425, 567, 621, or 255, if you think you can beat any one of those 4 nations, shit ain't cheap, bro.
Yeah, it's not.
Shit ain't cheap. That's it. It doesn't matter what nation number you are that you think, whether it's 910 or 799, 1111, 785. There's whatever it is. If you want to fight those 4 nations that I just described, bro, get your money right. That's it. If you get your money right, the moment you fight one of us, win or lose or draw, however that works, you're gonna go to fight the next. It's money, bro. That's what it is. So that's why you don't see these upper echelons fight each other week in and week out. It's like, all right, let's fucking go at it. Whoever wins, you guys got that, and then we're gonna try it again, in a couple of months, whatever it is. But like that's why you see that, because it's just fucking money, like it's just gold. And the probability of, a 621 and 255 going to 45 minutes, and then whoever wins that debacle there at the end, bro, how much gold is going to go skaplat in that 45 minutes
Like
with 255?
Like
With
2 million.
25, bro, it's gonna be so much. Now, I don't mind that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't personally mind that, but I'm a fucking super whale. The rest of the preparing for that as a team, and if you're led properly and you think you can beat any one of those 4 nations that I just described, like if you're led properly and you know what it's going to cost and what it's going to prepare to fight any one of those guys, you know, like, so I would much rather fight fucking Ronaldo and slow walk. And he's what, ranked 6 or 7, or right now he's maybe bumped down a little bit because people are listening to me. But the long and short of it is you're going to get 300-400 points for bumping that guy on the side of his head, and ain't going to cost you nothing. Whereas what you got 5, 6, 7 ranked 4. If you think you can bang, if you were to beat them, you get the same amount of points, but all your fucking items are gone. So do you? You know what I'm saying?
I think it was best described ever today, knowing your place.
I mean, eventually you're gonna hit the wall, right? Or you don't, and you become number 1. Like that's fine too. The door is open for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not taking anything away from anybody. All I'm saying is you got the red pill and you got the blue pill. That's it. You got the red pill, your fucking heals and your gold is gone, and you get 400 elite war points. Good job. Okay. But you take the blue pill, you get 400 elite war points, and you still have all your shit.
Yeah.
So I'm that's where I don't get it.
I feel for these upcoming nations that are, trying to work up to the top 10. I feel that it's not a bad thing for them to challenge and give a swing to the top 4 here and there, or at least once, just to measure up where they stand.
I mean, like, look, I'll say it again, and whatever. People are gonna probably hate me for saying this and tell me I'm an idiot, blah blah blah. But if I were the leaders of 910 right now, okay, they have all the momentum, they have all this. They just came off of a fucking stinger with them, on Polar last week. To have them again this week, did all that bullshit. Listen, if I think I can beat them in Elite War, I don't challenge 425. I don't challenge 567 or 621. I go right for whoever's number 1. That's it. And I fucking go after them 8 times in a row until I'm number 1. Because why am I fighting anybody else if I think I can beat them? you know, and that's just me, right? And if I lose that first one, at least you know what to work on.
Yeah.
You know, at least you know what to work on, and you know, whatever. Because again, you know, let's just continue to use 9-10 as an example. Where are they going first? Who are they going to challenge first out of those four I aforementioned? 5-6-7, 4-2-5, 6-2-1, or 2-5-5. Any one of those is a bag. Win, lose, or draw, it's a bag.
Oh, it really is a bag.
So, you know, those are, if I'm 9-10 with all that momentum, I'm gonna take a straight shot at whoever's number one, you know? And you know, and see what happens. Because the good news is if I'm the challenger going up like that, especially if Saif is, call it, rank 15 or 20 right now, call it, and they go challenge number one, bro, they're gonna lose what, 20 points, 100 points, if that?
If that, yeah, like 50. I think they
For-
like
You know, like
52
that's
points.
and that's the way I would be thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Not to put all this pressure on like a potential 2-5-5, you know, or it might just still be 6-2-1. You know, if 6-2-1 is still number one up there, man, you got to give them a run for their money. You know,
If they're
I
still
don't know. That's
number,
just the way I would be thinking. Just because I wouldn't want to blow a whole bag on 4-2-5. I wouldn't want to blow a whole bag on 5-6-7, and then say, okay, guys, let's go after these guys now. It's like, dude, everyone's exhausted. They got no fucking money left. You know.
let me answer one of the YouTube chats because Brandon is asking. You guys keep saying a bag, but how much is spent? Okay, so a bag, you can have each player drop
Bag
like
is all
two.
your heals,
Yeah,
all your speeds,
you're
all your gold. You know, like that's what that is. You know,
you're talking
it's
about
it's
each player that.
Woody with 5 minutes left in a very important elite war saying, "Fuck, I'm out of gold. I got no speeds left. I got to use 25s."
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. Like so, and like these big players. I mean, they prepare for it. I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars per player in the bag that they run out of real quick within 45 minutes. Like some are blowing through $5,000 in one elite war. Some are blowing through
So,
like 500.
so as a leader, try and wrap your mind around preparing the bottom 30 or 40, 50%, you know, of your alliance that doesn't spend 4 or 5 grand. And that's the quandary that us leaders are in all the time is how do we prepare our entire team to have the potential to do these 5 or 6 different, you know, potential moves in an elite war setting. You know, talking about healing, talking about potentially going 45 minutes, talking about speeding in between towers, talking about, you know, all of those things. You know, it's a lot to prepare for, man, and it's fucking stressful. You know, I see the leaders that we got in the chat right now, you know, and there's a fuck ton of them. So you guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And that's the part that, you know, is the part that you have to prepare for the most. You know, like again, we just dropped a little bit of a bag with that thing, you know, this past week with 2-5-5 and 9-10,
Boom.
but still a majority of my team wasn't speeding, man, because, you know, the 6-2-1 thing was coming up, you know, and they kind of knew about it. So it's like, listen, guys, you know, like, don't fucking waste this shit, you know. But the guys who got, millions like me and mental and you know, gold wise, like, yeah, we're gonna putz around a little bit, but the majority of the team's kind of hanging back and doing their thing for, you know, for these exact reasons, man. The preparation involved in a you know, potential you know, going against number one, you know, and the potential to go 45 minutes. Dude, that's scary. Nobody likes going 45 minutes long, bro.
No.
You know,
So
no one
so
likes that shit.
so
Here's
hold on,
the
go ahead.
one thing I don't understand about the bag. Polar, I think, is far more expensive than EW. Polar's what, an hour?
Yeah.
Polar's an hour. You got bases that are 4 minutes, 4.5 minutes away. In EW, you got
Polar's
bases that
three
are going.
times more expensive than Elite
Oh
War,
yeah,
bro.
100%. But there's people out there that play Polar competitively and say, "Oh, we don't want to do EW because I don't want to blow a bag." That's what I don't get.
Well, I mean,
Yeah, that's an oxymoron.
so what I call that is that they're not up there on the ranking
Yeah, I was
to
just
really
gonna say that.
potentially try to take the top 10. So at that point they've chosen Polar make that a main priority because they're nowhere near the top 10 or even the top 20 at that matter.
When you have aspirations to be like in, call it like number one or even top five, and you're like 150, things look, bleak, for whatever reason. So I can understand, why some people would choose Polar. Like, last year, this time, Holbrook had a great explanation as to why Polar was that much better for his nation than say Elite War at that time, and so that worked out for them. I think it really depends on the nation and what those priorities are, but if you're comparing bag usage in Elite War versus bag usage in Polar, Polar is significantly more. As you described, bases are 4 minutes away on the other side, especially if you're trying to win in speed and all those crazy things that we like to do. It becomes very, very expensive. I've been saying that since fucking the week after Polar came out, and it's probably the main reason why 425 has never really prioritized it, at a high level, because it will drain the entire bag, especially if you go up against like a Ronaldo style of nation, like where they just chain hit you over and over and over and over again, like the Duckies and the Beasts of the world for those who've played them. It's like fighting those two guys, for a complete hour. It's like it's pointless, so I don't particularly like it, I really don't. But I have enough gold and stuff like that to play it, and it is fun to mess around with people and all of those things. But I can't put that pressure on my team as a true leader,
So
Like I remember when Holbrook jumped us, a month or two ago. First words out of my mouth were "Stand the fuck down, stand down." They get that. That's on them. Stand down. We're not going that. We're not doing that. We have this in our path. You know.
people are still not getting the whole bag thing. Let me properly explain this. So when we say $5,000, okay, so majority of the players that are not mega spenders, they're probably going to be saving up for like a month about $500 worth of speeds, heals, stuff like that. But those aren't the players that are literally the whole 45 speed. Now you got players like Lee God, Mental, Mick, stuff like that. Those kind of players, they're speeding the entire way there, the entire way back, healing the entire way back. You're talking about big money, and those T13s are not cheap to heal. Imagine healing one fleet that you lost that's costing 40-day heals. Now, 40 days on a single hit, and they have to heal that. So you do the math. 40 days. How much money do you think that is in 40 days? Like $100 worth, right? Right around there. So this one hit, $100. Two hits, $200. Not to mention the speeds that they took to get back there. Now you're adding another 20, 30 speeds to get back to where to catch back up. This shit adds up real quick. So those big mega spenders, they're saving up thousands of dollars, and they're blowing it all in 45 minutes. It's huge. It's huge. It's huge. That's why, like Lee God was saying, these top players up here, you're not going to see them every single week fighting each other. Like, even the mega whales don't want to fight. Like, for say 425 don't want to fight 255 every single week. I mean, eventually, even you, Lee God, will probably run out of gold trying to do that, and every single player in there is going to run out of gold. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe maybe not. But I just know that's just super sweaty, and that's a good way to get people either super excited or super like, I'm going to second alliance kind of shit. Yeah, like Bo Deasy says, most elite wars cost up to 300,000 gold minimum to 500,000 gold for a whale to speed back and forth. And some super sweaty ones can cost 1,000,000 gold. 1,000,000 gold. Let that sink in. 1,000,000 gold in 45 minutes.
I've never had an EW cost that much, but I have done 400k plus EWs before. And another reason Cowboy brought up Polar versus EW, some teams they have advantage in Polar compared to EW versus the same opponent.
I like how Big Bird just broke this down right here, so people can understand. $100 is 20,000 gold, right? In a non-pack thing. So 100,000 gold is $500. $500,000 gold is $2,500. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. And you just heard it from Bodizi. You just heard it from Ligad that they have gone over 500,000 in Elite War.
Oh yeah.
Well, let that sink in. And this is so important for people to understand that. Like, we'll mention this in Void. Okay.
But see, like I don't think the big picture here is the guys who have the capacity to spend those monies, in the game and that amount of gold, we don't mind. And it's not us that's the problem. It's the ones who don't. And the preparation for those guys to be able to have the capacity to speed, to heal, to buff up, to do all of those things when the time's right, and not be the fucking guy that needs to speed into the base, but he's going, half a mile an hour on the back end. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing are troops. I mean, in EW, many players they have one real fleet, maybe one and a half. So you really have to heal that. It's significantly cheaper in Polar to even if you send somebody $20, they'll be able to get the troops from the store. And that's something they cannot do in EW.
Nope, you run out, you got to heal them all, or at least a full fleet.
Yeah, but I mean that stuff adds up quickly.
Fuck yeah, it does.
I've seen battle
Especially for the
reports
fleet
in
player.
Bro, we had somebody who was like sending anything, which is like T5, T2, T6, just whatever to fill up the fleet. No Titans, nothing, because they were just absolutely dry.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. I've personally been at the point where I'm out of gold. Like there's nothing I can do. It is 5 minutes left, 2 minutes left, and where you're starting to take towers and you're out of gold. That is the worst feeling. Like you're trying to buy everything in the store just to get to the next tower.
Talk about anxiety, right? That's great.
Yeah. We, us, not saying us whales, but like a lot of the bigger players that when they have to like go up against players like I use 736 for example, they wouldn't stop challenging big nations, and you're dropping $500-$700 each elite war. And sometimes it's two elite wars a day.
Yeah, those are I think what people were referring to. It's it becomes too much when you start focusing on elite war. I think there's a time in there, and I think maybe Holbrook can probably give some experience on this because see him here. Like when you're coming up the ranks, others see you coming up and they're like, oh, let's give them a challenge, and then it gives you an opportunity to get more points by by defending that. But they don't know what's about to hit them. I can only sit here and tell you how many nations thought they were going to whip Holbrook's ass, and they beat him in 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So like those are like fun times, coming up through the ranks and things like that. But if you get challenged by the wrong people, like look at 7-Eleven for instance. They get as soon as they hit top 10, they got to go up against number 1 2 weeks in a row. Like that's no good. You know what I'm saying?
The only good part about it is that they didn't waste too much gold at speeds.
Yeah, Sin did that to us, in 425. Sin came, gave us a love tap, the moment we hit top 10, and they slow walked us to death, and we could do nothing about it,
But it showed you where you were at.
Yeah, correct, 100%. And we hung out in that top 10 area for quite some time, and we made a little bit of push in this last year, and and until we got this in nation merger thing with my number 2 alliance, we were kind of stuck. We were in a place where we couldn't do much. Moving forward, it was just kind of like, all right, this is where we're at. So but now we got a little bit of traction, a little bit of movement. See how long it lasts, and ride it while it's there, brother.
Definitely right while it's there, because you never know when it's not. You never know when it's going to end. I do feel bad for 219 because they did hold number one for how many years straight, and I feel that, I mean, don't get me wrong, for some of these nations that are going to be going up against them, they are fighters. Don't think that they're not, because they really are. It's just
I mean, again, it's just the red pill versus the blue pill. I'd rather fight 219 than fucking 567, bro.
oh yeah,
You know,
oh yeah.
I'd rather fight 219 than 425. I'd rather fight 219 than Holbrook even. I'd rather fight 219 than whoever's behind Holbrook. So it's like all of the above is, it's the lesser of two evils at the moment because, again, I think everybody kind of knows what the deal is when it comes to those, handful of spots up top, you know.
Yeah, you're right.
You're more than welcome to it, but you got to come take it. It's just like a GC champ, it's like, all right, yeah. You want to come down and beat me. You just got to come beat me first, like that's all.
I
I'm
will
humble, man. I don't mind a loss, or and I'm sure some of these other guys that are in the top 10, they don't mind a loss.
God, I will say, since I have came to 567, and I remember you talking about this in a past a past podcast, that the respect that you give, like the top players give other top players, about a warning that hey, we're gonna challenge you. Um, I understand it now. Now that I'm playing in 567, when I was in 736, I was more like, hey, fuck it, you made your way up there, just fucking challenge them. Now I understand exactly what you meant.
Yeah, it's just a different level because you don't want it every week, man. And if you piss somebody off, even if you beat me every week, bro, you don't want to play me every week.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? And like that's just how it kind of works. You want to be respectful and ultimately, like you want to be able to not have an asterisk. Let's hypothetically say I would have quick challenge 621 the day after they fought fucking 255. Didn't say nothing to nobody. I know damn well they're gonna have a clean schedule, and I could have 100% quick challenged them on Monday morning the day after. Let's just throw that up in the air, right?
Man, that would
That would be
suck.
fucked up.
Yeah, it would.
It would be fucked up. And if I won, everybody would put an asterisk next to it,
That would
right?
suck. Yeah, no, you would. You would.
Everybody would have put
They
an
would.
asterisk next to it. you know and I'll tell you, it was talked about because I talked to the guys in 621. I never set up a date, but I told them I was going to challenge them after we spoke to 621, you know or after we fought 219, excuse me. And so but I never talked to them after that, but I gave them 2 weeks notice. You got 2 weeks. Everyone's got 2 weeks. So I just think that asterisk isn't worth it. And then what? I got to play him again the very next week after because of the asterisk. Man, I'm not trying to do that, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Demon
Not
over there
trying to do that.
from 385 is saying you got no balls. Oof, man.
Yeah, I mean, no, it's I have respect, and I've been playing the game long enough, and I respect 621, man. I've been hanging around with those guys for some time now, and so the long and short of it is I'd prefer to have a well set up match where everybody knows, and then when there's a winner, them or us, no one gets to talk shit, and if we lose, we get to regroup and we get to come back at them.
Right.
Now I'll say this: if we lose, I don't think I owe them much, attaboy stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that quick challenge might come if we lose. Like I'll let you know that. But like yeah, I think that everybody up top has enough mutual respect. I think even 567 has enough mutual respect for 621 with their long-term beef. Maybe I'm overstepping my bounds. I see Tip and Bo in here, but I think even they would, set it up with 621 and not just randomly challenge them.
Yeah,
Or at least give them a heads up. Maybe they won't give them an option and a date and all that stuff, But I know Tip is going to reach out and be like, "Hey, bro, we're challenging in a couple weeks. See you then." You know, and that's respectable. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, Tip, is that what you're going to do?
Big Tips. Oh yeah, Tip's Tip.
Tip said here, but he's probably not paying attention to me.
So
He's playing the silent game right now.
Hey, Bo Deasy, I heard your new nickname is Batman, and I could have sworn
It's not new. It's not new, but yeah, Tip has to confirm.
But I think Tip, you have to confirm that he has a new nickname. Tip, what is that nickname? Yeah, you know he's laughing his ass off right now. Tip,
Hold on, I'm gonna
mic up.
I'm gonna tag him. Don't worry.
There was a bet made, and now Tip he lost the bet, and he has to say something.
Well, I told Tip earlier the next time you went after him that I would come up with a counterpoint, but I don't have one for the Batman Robin dispute. But you know, Tip was the face of 567 for a long time. He was carrying the torch, helped you guys through some of the dark times.
Yeah, no, he's been a absolutely fantastic key member of 567, the leadership. But I still like to give him shit, and vice versa.
I mean,
just wait. He's gonna start posting pictures.
Tip, my debt is fulfilled.
He's gonna start posting pictures, Bodizi. You know it's coming.
Probably, or he might be taking a nap.
I think, like, also too, for me, when we were going after Sin, I didn't want it. Like, I think I said this to Roger one time. It's like, I'm not trying to come like a thief in the night to steal it away. It's going to be straight up. I want them to be fully prepared. I want them to bring their best and bring our best, and we'll see who's left standing at the end. That's the way I wanted to do it. Doesn't mean it's the only way, but it was the way I wanted to do it.
In reality, that is the best way to do it. Because,
I mean, Woody, 1 second. But there's also a counterpoint, right? Because you waited to tell them, 2 weeks ahead, give them notice, all of that stuff, but you waited until they died.
I mean, I don't think you guys were going to beat them last fall. I think there were two teams that could take Sin before they unmerged.
Yeah, no. I mean, Sin, I can't take anything away from them. They're tough. The first battle, 45 minutes. They gave it their all. We gave it our all. But at the same time, it's like, the timing of the challenge, it kind of happened way after their prime. So at that point, whether it's 2-week challenge or whatever, like they're not going to recover as an alliance. They're done. They're dead.
And so you think that a different way was better? What's the counterpoint? Maybe I'm missing something.
No, I'm just saying. So, saying you gave them 2 weeks notice, it really doesn't mean anything when the nation is completely dead. Like we can, or anybody can reach out to a dead nation and, say, oh, hey, you get 2 weeks. But it's like at that point,
I think that first one, though, not to jump on a side, but I think that first one, it was like, no, I didn't know that 219 was dead just yet, and I'd like to think I got my hand on the pulse of this game for the most part. And
how many original players were left? How many?
I think that's the thing is the 255-219 marriage there for the many years was that thing, and and maybe it's still around or maybe it's dead or whatever the case is, but like I didn't know that was ever going to stop. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really know what made it stop, but it's probably because 255 wanted to eventually get up there to the top rank. But I think that first one with 621 and 219, like I'm pretty sure it went the whole 45 minutes or whatever too, but the first shot, man, I mean, I didn't think they were dead, and maybe the second and the third time they kind of knew, and it was just like we were kind of covering earlier, 621 took the smart road to first place. It's like, all right, all we got to do is beat these guys, a couple, 3 times in a row. We don't even got to touch 255, which is the blue pill versus the red pill.
Yeah,
It would have
path
cost
of
so
least
much more.
resistance.
Exactly.
Even when 567 went against 219 for the first time, they showed up with all 90 something players and they lasted the full 45, and that was only a few months ago.
That was pretty much the last of their bags. I did speak to 219 players who were telling me about their resource usage, and at that point it was pretty much like a done deal. The second time we battled them, it was 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
So that was like the final stand, so to speak.
Yeah, once you get your head busted like that, and you kind of just know, I mean, there's no reason for 219 to, even today, after they've lost a couple of times to you guys and 621 and us now, potentially other nations coming down the pike like 785 and others, but again, even like you just don't spend versus those guys, and they'll still stay in the top 10, bro, by challenging 113 and 171, the guys they've been beating their whole life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And just because they can't compete with the top 5 anymore, I mean, there's, people can challenge them at their risk, I would say.
Yeah,
yes. Like, good luck.
Yeah, I mean, like you would be hard pressed. Has 785 Holbrook? Have you guys played them?
I think he hasn't been able to find them. That's what he said.
Got it.
So like
everybody's challenging them.
I believe
785 and 219 would be a good matchup. It'll probably like I think it would be a good matchup depending on if 219 is really taking the foot off the brake completely, or not. But I think that would be a good matchup based off of what 425 saw of 219 just a couple of weeks ago.
I think that 7-Eleven's got 219 in the.
Yes, they have them next week.
Yeah,
or something, right?
Next week or 2 weeks, I forget exactly when, but
Who enticed that challenge? Was it them or Cowboy reached out?
I honestly don't know.
Is Cowboy still in here? No. Yeah, he is. Cowboy, did you guys challenge 219, brother, or did they challenge you?
No, we challenged
7-Eleven.
Yeah, got it. Yeah, that's what I thought. Cool.
But
yeah, so that'll be fun to watch.
How long did 52 last after they started getting farmed by everybody?
Oh, dude, they didn't last long at all.
Yeah, but they lost everybody, Bo. Yeah. And then all the good players got recruited to 255, basically, and they lost everybody, bro. I mean, the only person who's still there now is Stryker, and he took that city over, like after the debacle,
Yeah.
So I feel like that was a recruiting thing, like they kind of gave up on 52 and the majority of the top players got recruited to other nations. I think even a couple like went to newer nations. I think there's some in like 1200s or some shit like that.
Did you hear 52 that SS1 is their main alliance out there now?
I mean, that when you have, it's like if 425 merged with 567, like I would take all the best players and we would go move over here, and you'd be left with like a 619 or like the remnants of 550, like you'd be, that's what it would look like, and I think that's what you have in like a 52, and I think 269, I think they just fully retired. I don't even think a majority of those players got recruited or moved over. The moment they started, 269.
Oh, they were killed pretty much.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but they retired as opposed to continuing on in the game and new nations and things like that. All those players just retired.
Well, yeah, dude, I remember we used to always talk about them, and all of a sudden one day they just disappeared.
They just disappeared. Yeah, 100%.
They used to literally keep trophies, city nations that they beat in Void, trophies on their mud, and they.
No, that was 255.
Was it 255?
Yeah, that was 255.
I could have thought I heard Chicken saying it. They did it. Okay, well maybe it was 255. But either way, like that's a wasn't it 255 that beat 269? Correct me if I'm
Oh
wrong.
yeah, they had one of the best
Yeah.
voids, to probably ever, especially in the first 4 rounds. I think the points before phase 5 were like 32 billion or something crazy.
Talk about blowing a bag.
Yeah, man. Yeah, completely crazy. But it also goes to show you, like, when some of these nations who think they're the best at some things, when they get just like one loss, they give up, bro. That shit's crazy to me. You know?
Well, it's kind of like what
It
Rank
wasn't
did.
one loss. It wasn't one loss. I mean, you're talking about EW. You're talking about they were EW and Void Nation. The loss, the drama it created when they had the Void versus 255. The finger pointing. Oh, you won because of this. You won because of that. Da da da. But the reality is, at the end of the day, you still have one winner. You have to plan for your opponent and see what's going to happen, and you kind of have to roll with it. But when too much pressure is applied, it's some nations just buckle.
That's what
Yeah.
that's what I've always said, and I've said this since the day I started doing lives. You have to know your enemy. You can't even in Void. You can't walk into a Void without studying your enemy. You walk in a Void without studying your enemy, you're gonna be the next big bad wolf.
Bo, tell them about
And
286 in Void War, bro. Let them get the first 4 phases. See what happens.
Yeah. I mean, they push numbers. I've always heard about 255 and what they do in 1 through 4, and I was like, all right, cool. Once I saw it with my own eyes, I was like shooketh.
Bro,
The amount of
you guys
cities,
thought I was joking
that
when I
were in
told you that
played.
255 will outfarm your whole nation.
Yeah,
You know?
I mean, I didn't realize to what extent. Like we had multiple of the top players in the nation just broke from any gold. I'm talking about 0 gold, 0 speed ups, 0 recruits, just nothing, and we still couldn't keep up.
That's true.
This did pull off. I was watching that one, obviously, in part because it was 567, but in part because it was going to be one of the best voids for a while. I mean, you guys put up like 4-ish billion, I want to say, but in like a compressed time, like in the last.
It was 5 minutes. 5 minutes, 4 billion points, 4 billion plus points in 5 minutes.
And we're still down going into phase 5.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's woo.
It was brutal. But at the same time,
let me just say, if
LG had a
anybody
conversation
thinks
after that.
if anybody thinks they can beat 255 in Elite War, cool. But you ain't. I don't think anybody beating them in a Void War. I'll probably retire before that shit happens. But continue, Bo. My bad.
All good. Yeah, he asked me because I designed 567, after the 52 type nation, 219. I stopped much earlier than they did. And that's when I realized the importance of having a full nation full of like active players. Because even though every other alliance was not allowed to participate in 255, same as 567, the scores they like very easily was just something we could not handle, right? I think at one point, like towards the at the end of Ace 4, we had the whole top 10, but they had 1,500 cities in play.
Well, that's literally utilizing your entire nation. So
Yeah, they use everything. Everybody,
farm.
everything's farming, everything's recruiting and then deleting. everything's making upgrades and then and breaking down and all that, and you know everything, everybody, everything is moving, bro.
Every
I watched it
farm.
myself, bro. I watched it myself, dude. This shit is blew my mind how they outfarmed us, bro. And I have a nation with a lot of people, dude, and I got some alliances that like to farm, okay? And they fucking, dude, they like tripled our numbers, bro. The first time we ever had like a real void, this is 2 years ago, probably, and or maybe even longer. First time I ever had them against like whatever void war. I don't know, remember what it was, but they were playing serious, and I woke up, like whatever. I wake up around 1200 server, and so there was still 12 hours left, and it was the farming event, and they literally 3x'd us, bro. And there was still 12 hours to go. My mind
Yeah.
was blown.
You're like, what the hell just happened? Is this a glitch?
I can't. I thought yeah, dude. I really thought someone was cheating, bro. And then I'm like, oh my god. I went to their nation because I had a little dummy city there at the time, and I went to their nation. I saw everything moving, bro. Everything was in a tile. Everything was in a fucking elite mine. It was nuts, dude. It
You're
was
like,
nuts.
no way that they. Wow. I mean, you gotta give that. You gotta give them the heads up. Not the heads up, but like
Dude, I got nothing but respect for
Yeah.
255, man. I've essentially built 425 around, their essentials, and some of the things they do in those, they take advantage of everything Camo allows you to take advantage of. That's it. They don't use a single tank of monster gas on a nation they're going to easily beat. They don't use a single recruit speed, on a nation they're going to beat. All their recruit speeds sit in their bag for the time that they fight 567 or 910 coming in the future. They're all saving all their gas and all their recruits for 910 or 567. Like that's what they're doing right now currently. Because they know they can beat any other nation, but those two, without those two things. And so it's
This is potentially why when I'm
I'm sorry, you go, Woody.
I was gonna say this is potentially why you guys hear me telling all these other newer nations that, like, for instance, right now you see me, I'm breaking down my oil fields because I know building events coming down, so I'm breaking them all down, and the weed, the feeds, I'm breaking them down. So when building event comes, I can build those up and get the points there. Now imagine everyone in your entire alliance, or even in your entire nation and all their farms doing that, and then when it comes to building an event, they're literally rebuilding them to get those points. I mean, that's the kind of significance that you have to do, to literally.
And it's crazy because I've done it myself on like a little shit city back in the day, and it's like it was like 30,000 points. I'm like, what the fuck? But when you do that times 3,000 cities, bro, it makes a big fucking dent.
No. You can do 2.5 million points very easy on a farm.
Yeah.
When we had 255, we had farms on both sides because we knew what they were going to do, and I'm sure they knew what we were going to do. We had farms with like 10 million points. We had farms that recruited 50 million points times, X amount. But I forgot what the score was leading into phase 5, but like numbers were just absolutely brutal because like in order to get 100, it was like some astronomical number that most people do not get after phase 5.
30 billion.
Bro, I mean they did what 15 plus billion in 4 phases.
That's freaking crazy.
Well, and think about too, like rotating cities in to alliances that have better technology and better recruit buffs, rotating them in to take advantage of the 12-hour recruit buff. I mean, like all of that is happening.
But they take that risk of the whole War 7-day wait by doing that.
No.
In farm alliances, they don't give a shit. They have one
you're right.
old alliance tech that's maxed out, and they just fucking run in and out of that bitch for 12 hours. You know what I'm saying?
So you can do, if you have three main alliances in a nation, you can run the alliance recruiting skill for 36 hours, one after another, and you just keep switching martial and the other recruiting buff. So you just keep rotating all of that stuff to maximize like a single point.
I bet you a lot of people right now are listening to this like, holy shit, it's that deep? Oh yeah, it's that deep, guys.
I mean, it's that deep when you fight 255, and if you're really trying to keep your undefeated score, and like 567 is one of those nations that lost like one void war prior to losing that particular one that he's referring to, and they haven't lost one since, to my knowledge. So it's like 567 is very, very focused on a void war, similar to 255. And there's a handful of other nations out there that are very, very focused on say head of state for conversation's sake. Those teams, those specific teams, and as Woody described earlier, know your enemy. Know who the fuck you're fighting. Because if you don't, you're going to get stuck in this quandary where you go up against a nation like 567 or some shit like that, and these guys will not let you go into phase 5 with a lead. Or try not to let you, like 567 couldn't do that against 255 because they're the similar nation. But every other nation in this game, in my opinion, 567 is not allowing them to get, a lead, because I don't think they can,
It depends. It depends on the opponent. It depends on the event. If it's frenzy, obviously, there's a lot of room just because of the towers. But you have to, like both of you said, you have to know your opponent. There are many nations that will not go after the top alliance. They will do best to avoid you. So the points that are on the table, they're going to be severely limited. So you have to understand, like, do you want to put yourself in a bad position, be down before phase 5, and then just have nothing to hit? They will not engage you. They will not do anything. They will put on their, NC 3-day bubble, call it a day, and, enjoy your Sunday. Like, I don't want to be stuck in a situation where I'm just, for 24 hours looking for bubble drops.
Yeah. And if you do find one, it's fucking T4s inside.
Mm-hmm. And another thing is control. If you are up, there are nations that will fight you, but you always want to fight on your terms. When we had 255, they were up, we were down. I mean, we were doing anything, right? We were setting traps, I think, for a total of 3 hours. They messed with us one time. They sent a group attack, and then they recalled all of the troops before it hit. So they were just, like messing around with us, because the reality is they were up. They didn't have to do anything to win. They caught, we had some, they caught, but like, if they just did nothing, they would have won. And so I'm not taking anything away from them for that, because, the reality is, if we were up, 500 points, 800 points, we would not stupid to risk it. So, yeah, lead sometimes is a good thing, is a smart thing.
I feel like if people, you guys remember when people would say that they wouldn't fight in Void because they don't want to lose troops. Now people are not fighting even in Frenzy when you get your troops back and they're down by 2-3 billion and they're just still not fighting. I can't wrap my mind around why they don't just say fuck it and fight. Like, they, one or two good battles, if you win, can overturn a 2 to 3 billion. Well, maybe not 3, but like 2 billion lead. They can do it, but people just don't want to fight.
I think it's a power gap thing, and it's also like people don't want to fight unwinnable battles. And then there's also the issue of if your nation is purging people who get, blasted in a kill event, then they don't want to. They don't want to have the attacks coming on Monday. Not so much the Saturday and Sunday they're worried about.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I understand that.
I think
Bird, I've reached. Go ahead,
you
please. No, please.
I was just gonna say, I think there needs to be a collective loosening of that. Like if we all want it to be fun again, then figure out a way where you can have some even battles. Like I know there were times when we offered, I don't know if it was taken up, but we were like, we'll sit out players. Like we understand there's a power gap, but we'll sit players out. It's like figure out what we can do to at least manufacture some battles so both teams can at least get, open their boxes at the very least. And it's easier in Frenzy because you got a tower. It's like we'll do a tower battle, and if you want our top X players to sit out of it, we will, because we'd rather our team get some enjoyment. Like we don't need to. We don't need to get a bunch of kills in a battle report. The team. It's better for both teams to at least open the boxes because everybody gets some gold, everybody gets some merit. But I think there needs to be, with the power gaps that exist now, you have to get a little creative, and also that assumes that you've got a friendly relationship where you can have that conversation, and that doesn't always exist either. But I think, so I think, Woody, it's like, I think it's a symptom of some of the larger problems of the game right now. And the way to do it is we as a community need to figure out a way around that power gap and a way to make it fun, or at least put it on terms where everybody's willing to play.
Well, I know.
But I do think the purge thing is hurting people too.
Well, we were also talking. Go ahead, Woody.
I was gonna say,
all right.
when I was in 736, there was a few nations, 732. We made a deal during Void that the top 5 players on both nations, we sat out. We just sat there and watched. We put a bubble up, and we just watched whether we were going to win or lose or not. We just didn't join. And when we did that, the amount of the lower or mid cities that were active was phenomenal. Like you're talking about 60 people showing up trying to get that Void Tyrant because they know no 41s are there. They're all sitting out. Now, obviously, if a 41 attacks, then deals off, which but you have Mikey Brooklyn in here. He's in the chat. He can contest to that because he was in 732 at that time when we made that deal. Same with AOD. And it was awesome just sitting back watching those guys fight it off, letting the little guys use their brains without having to worry about another whale zeroing them out. It was also awesome seeing that. And there is potential to where you can remember back in the days when I used to go into the enemy nation, make a city there and say, hey, we want to set up a planned attack. When Bram got hit with those 200 what was it, 200 people? He got hit with 200 people by himself. We just sat back and watched it. Those were the days where made this game so interesting to see that kind of stuff, or have that kind of ability to be able to post them off like that. Guys, if you take the time and just visit your enemy nation, even in Discord, and just talk to them. I'm not saying talk shit to them. Just talk to them hey, we want to set something up. We got to get some activity in our nation. If your nation's dying, how are you supposed to respark that nation if no one is fighting? If you start fighting, you're literally going to respark the nation to where it can come back alive, which is why when I was in 736, I didn't care if anyone defended because I would rather have people activity and fighting versus just quitting the game. You know what I mean? And a lot of these nations are now starting to see that activity in team attacks is more important than winning because what if you don't have what if that one win that you told everyone not to fight just killed your nation? It happens. I don't know
I mean,
if go ahead.
we were also talking about bag consumption earlier. That you go into void and frenzy, and nothing's a TA anymore. It's all speed attacks, and all the whales. There's an open city. You speed to it. 90% of the time, it's empty. Troops are hidden, or they're attacking. Troops are hidden. It's just a big bag, speed consumption nowadays. So
It is. It
you're
is. But you don't.
you're
It
Yeah,
you're
doesn't.
I
mid-tier.
ran into that with 219 when I did that planned attack against my city and they burned me in frenzy. We lost that frenzy when we were in a good position to beat them, and after that battle we lost because it was a lot of points.
But you had fun playing it.
Yeah, no, it was good, and it also gave me a lot of information as a player and as a leader.
But I mean, with all the events now, people are preferring Polar or Elite War because I mean, even if you're not in the top 10 in Elite War, you can still fight in your ranks no matter where you are in the rankings, and it's a better battle. People show up to fight, and like we all say time and time again, Void and Frenzy is you're staring at bubbles for at least 20 hours.
Yeah, I think the nice part about Elite War too is like you can almost get like your one-on-one GC matchups that people like to talk shit, or everyone's got their own like little rivalries, or like, oh, like they're cool but I think we're better than them, type mentality, and like inner globe stuff. And so it doesn't matter if you're ranked 150. The guy ranked 145 happens to be 3 nation numbers away from yours. It's like, you know what, man, like those, I feel like that's going to be a good matchup. And I don't think the ranks matter when it comes down to shit like that, and every one of these globes from globe 1 all the way to globe whatever the fuck we're on these days, you guys can have your bi-monthly fucking GC matchups, for the guys who jumped you during GC or whatever bullshit. I'm sure there's plenty of drama in every different globe, but just the capacity to be able to challenge another nation at your disposal, I think is a huge KPI that just jumps off the page to me. It makes it that much better than everything else, you know?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Yeah, I'm
Just
just
at any
saying that with
given moment, it's like, all right, like we can go in that direction. And you don't have to reach out to VIP. You don't have to request a head of state matchup. You don't got to do none of that fucking horse shit. You just log into the game, you click in the 3 letters, and you click search, and they're there. You click attack, and you have fun. So I think that's even more so than Polar. Polar would be great if it wasn't 4 minutes on the other side of the map, because it's like a weekly GC, with a couple more nations even. So like these are.
I want to show people real quick. It's this video is 3 years old back when Ryan was playing. If people haven't seen it, I want them to show them what how much fun it used to be. Like just watch this. I sped it up, yes, and I'm sure the guy you've already seen this. So this is a challenge that we did. Everyone around here, we're all just sitting back watching, and just watch the number. These are the kind of challenges I'm talking about. See what you can do, and it's fun. Win or lose, who gives a damn? So this is an entire nation, 200 people that attack one person at once. It's insane to be able to set something up and have both nations super excited to do this. Now, the timing, I'm gonna be really. It was way off. It was way off. But imagine setting something up like that, guys. And you don't need to speed there. Just fucking slow walk there. Do a TA there. But like, set it up. Win or lose, have some fun. Can you imagine that? And you know what? Sin and ED1 used to do this all the time. I remember that doing it all the time with Nikki.
Yeah, that's what Sin did to my city where they burned my ass.
Well, this is back when 38 was the highest. Wait, he's already got hit with 60. There's still 130, 100, and the number just keeps growing. This is the kind of stuff that you guys need to do. Make your nation known to be able to do these kind of things and have fun with the game. And I guarantee the activity. I mean, look at that, 140 are still coming, and it just keeps going more and more and more and more. I know it's a little glitchy, but this is back when I was recording it just a phone. I just wanted to show these new players that are watching this, or even old veterans that are watching this. I want to show, guys, this is the stuff that you should be doing. Look at that, 180 something people on their way to hit one guy and see if he can handle it. This is frenzy, of course. I wouldn't do this on Boyd. Frenzy always. Try to do something like that, guys.
Wasn't that GC, Woody? I thought that was GC.
No, this was frenzy.
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, that and this was like the G. I think your GC with you remember that one GC? I think that was right after this, because this was shortly right before Ram retired. Actually, before you made him retire. The timing's off, yes. And you know what also it helps you with? It helps you time attack with GC. Because we all know it's not about speed in GC, it's about that time attack. The whales, yeah, it's speed. You be able to do something like that, you guys will respark your nation. Win or lose. Now, I wouldn't suggest 150 million BP using that 150 million BP city nowadays. I wouldn't suggest that. Maybe like a 750 million BP city. Maybe suggest hitting him like that. That would be a good test.
I mean, any real team, I feel like, can burn any city these days, man. You know, like I don't think there's any unburnable cities. You know, especially without defense. You know, I don't think there's anybody out there that can't be burned with the right team. Ronaldo, Treehouse, all those myself.
Ronaldo got burned. Remember, Ronaldo got burned. Matter of fact, not too long ago, it got fucking zeroed out.
When he was full?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember what nation did it, but I believe I remember seeing the freaking report.
So yeah. So again, you know, just a point made. I don't think there's any you know one city that can withstand any type of you know true team attack from you know any one of the top nations out there. You know, and even some of the non-top nations. I mean, you know, maybe like a you know a 1,300 nation can't burn me with 100, but you know, like any type of relative fights out there, I think any real team in the first four globes can burn me. You know, so it's like there's not you know anybody out there who's invincible. Now with defense and all those things, you know, 100% different. But just 1v 100 or 1v like 80 plus, like I just don't think anybody can withstand those things these days, especially with all the new items with planes and golems and all those things that take effects these days. Where
Troop
it didn't,
expansions.
yeah, dude, all of it, bro, all of it. Zombies now, bro. Look at the zombie fleets, bro. My zombie fleet is fucking huge, dude.
Yeah. So if the zombie fleet keeps on getting bigger, I feel once it gets to let's say it gets to 100,000, we're gonna have to start adjusting some of our unworldlies to that.
I mean, I'm not going to be moving anything personally, but yeah, I know people will, and more power to them. Good luck with that.
Well, unless you see it making that huge of a difference, then I don't think you'd probably touch anything. But if it started making a huge difference, of course I know you would.
I mean, I just think it would force me, guys like myself, to then just feed into the camel debacle. Because what they're gonna make me go zombie attack, and then this time next year they're gonna make an adjustment and make me go back to what, melee defense, or something else. So it's always changing, and unless it's a major difference, I haven't changed my unworldlies, and I can't tell you how long. You
Well,
know.
and that's what I mean, like major difference.
Yeah, and I went from the zombie attack to melee defense, and things like that, and I'd be hard pressed, and because of all the other things in the game now, antiques and island items and all these things, dude, my zombie attack's already monstrous, so I don't. I don't see the value in it, but I do see the value in more zombies as an active, warrior. And my zombie fleet's getting really fucking big, and that's painful for a lot of people. I think I
So
had like 65,000 plus zombies in my fleet in Elite War earlier, bro.
that's
You
fucking
know,
crazy. That's insane. So the biggest question now that people have been asking me, and I always say zombies. With this new decoration, you know how you can get the components. People are asking me, should we get the zombie fleet, which completely say yes, or the extra 5,000 uh, in Cross Nation?
yeah, I went zombie fleet first just because the 5,000 will take that much longer. If you look at the cost, it's like 1,000 compared to 400 or something like that, if I remember correctly. So it's a big cost difference on the
Yeah,
parts.
1,000 versus 400.
Yeah, so 400 you can essentially get that like basically now, whereas the other will take several events, and the fact that you're getting fleet size from so many other avenues in the game right now, I went zombie fleet. Let's just leave it at that. So that'd be my suggestion for just about anybody out there, is go zombie first, just because it's you get it now and you don't have to wait, because the new part makes it so you got to start at the same level as everybody else. So you're going to be kind of waiting for that 5,000 for 3 or 4 events, whereas everybody's going to have that zombie for all of the events leading into it. So it just makes a little bit more sense.
Well, unless you're mental, which he switched to the dog again. But yeah, he's already got all of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you're spinning that wheel like mental can spin that wheel, then yeah, you can have all of it right now. So
That's
I know what
that's
mental can do on that wheel. That thing there's a motherfucker, man. But it doesn't give you much else other than that. So for me as a player, and I think I explained this a couple pods ago, I just can't be throwing cash at Camel like that. Try to do my best to get the most value out of the things that I'm buying for these guys, and that's it. I think I threw like $700 at the wheel, and I got the zombie fleet, and I stopped.
yeah. I mean, I agree with that. That there's only going to be a handful of people in this entire game that's going to do the mental spend. You know, to just max
There's
it out and get it
only
over
going to
with.
be so many people that even spin the wheel these days. I mean, how many players outside of the top spenders of the game are actually spinning the wheel? Not many, man.
I
You
spent
know?
it. I spent it 157 times this last one, but I was trying to get top 10, but then I learned very, very quickly that people decide to drop 500, 700,000. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good. I will say
exactly.
that one new wheel to actually get it's not really a wheel, it's like square to get this freaking whatever, the statue. I think that one is a good thing to spin or roll, whatever you want to call it, because every single thing that it gave was very good. It's not right now, but I think it was last week where it's those squares and every freaking gift that you got or reward that you got from it was a really good reward. Gold to speeds to um everything. I couldn't complain about a single gift.
Yeah, everyone's gonna go their different route for that, man. And that's what sets people apart. Just doing something a little bit different than everybody else. I think Cowboy said in the chat, like he went the opposite. He went for fleet size. And I went personally. I went zombie, and maybe Bodizi he went fleet size. But whatever. So it allows everybody to not have the exact same build, and everyone wants to go a little bit different. Then you got guys like Mental who got it all day one. You know what I'm saying? So, there's different strokes for different folks, man. But at the end of the day, I feel like those little carrots that camel dangles for us. They're just trying to get the 10% of the game to drop that $5 grand or 30 grand type
Yeah.
shit. So I
All right.
don't know. They got me for 500, 700, whatever it was.
So right now, guys, we are literally 2 hours and 17 minutes in. I think we got a lot of stuff got talked today. I think we went. This was a pretty good live, and a lot of knowledge got put out there. But now I'm going to bed. Don't mean to end it this way, but I'm 17 minutes past when I was going to end it. So it's my bedtime. I got to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So